On the newest Random Land, we're not only going to check out an iconic piece of cinema history out here, not to mention theme park history, but we're going to get to do something almost nobody gets to do. We're actually going to get behind the wheel, or we would if there was a wheel. We are going to be driving this piece of cinema and theme park history. Stick with us for this entire episode because this one's going off the rails on this Random Land on location. Welcome everybody to the Southern California Railway Museum. Behind me is the museum property itself. As you can see, it's full of all kinds of old train cars, old streetcars, trolleys, everything for the transportation enthusiast. But maybe more interesting for the moment is what we're standing in front of now, which are the ticket booths that lead you inside the museum itself. Do they look familiar? Longtime Random Land viewers might remember that these ticket booths' original home, and there are two of them here, their original home was at the happiest place on earth. That's right, these are former Disneyland ticket booths moved here or donated out here to the museum, which used to be called the Orange Empire Railway Museum, now the Southern California Railway Museum. It is absolutely incredible. Every time I see these things, I just flash right back to being a kid and entering the park. This is actually where I used to buy my tickets before I would enter into Disneyland. And here they are, still preserved out here at this museum till this very day. And here's the thing, that is a crazy Disney or Disney theme park connection, and it's only one of several out here on the property. They have several Disney theme park connections, one of which, a very cool one, we are going to be checking out today. You guys ever heard of a little 1988 feature film called Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Oh, that's right. This is going to get interesting. Let's go. All right, here we are outside of the Pacific Electric barn, number two barn, and here it comes, 717, the Red Car, an old Hollywood car. This is the real deal, folks. Just like in the movie, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? They're pulling this out just for us. All right, I'm standing out here in front of number 717 with my good friend John Cunningham. John, what do you do here at the museum?
Well, I'm a volunteer here at the Southern California Railway Museum. I drive streetcars. I teach people how to drive streetcars. We cut weeds. We do odd jobs out here.
So you do everything.
Yeah,
you do a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything, yeah.
So what can you tell us about this giant red car behind us?
This car right here, Pacific Electric number 717. It was built in 1925 by the J.G. Brill Company for the Pacific Electric Railway. There were 160 of these that were made for the Pacific Electric.
Wow. But this one in particular is very special because it has a special Disney connection.
Oh yeah, there's lots of Disney connections.
I don't want to bury the lead, but what is the Disney connection with 717 behind us?
Well, let's see. It was the inspiration for the Who Framed Roger Rabbit streetcar.
Ooh, that's what we're after.
Yep. And
a little bit more.
The inspiration for Disney's California Adventures Red Car trolley attraction.
This car right here.
This car right here. So the Imagineers came out here and they did their sketches and measured and checked all the colors and stuff, and they went and had the Brookville Corporation create miniature replicas of these.
Right, so in the movie Roger Rabbit, they're not actually using this particular streetcar because the streetcar in that movie, if you look very carefully, here's a pro tip for you, you can actually see rubber tires on it. So what was up with that? What were they using in the movie?
It was built, the prop was built on a Bluebird bus chassis.
Really? So it's a bus you're actually looking at.
So that's why, you can see how Eddie Valent was sitting on a fender on the front of that.
Right.
That was actually the bumper.
Thanks for the cigarettes.
That was the front bumper on the Bluebird bus chassis.
Okay.
There's nowhere for you to sit on. I mean, you could try sitting on that.
Right, the little connector thing.
You're going to risk your life.
Yeah, because I've seen footage of the old red cars going through, it was the greatest public transportation in the world, going through Hollywood and going through LA, and I always wondered, how come there's no little lip for Eddie Valiant to sit on? And that's because they built a replica. Right. But they actually took measurements of this
car right here.
This particular car.
One of our longtime volunteers was hired on as a consultant.
That's amazing.
He gave them the number. I mean, Disney would like to tell you that it's July 17th, 1955.
Right.
But actually, Gary Starr picked the number 717 for Who Framed Roger Rabbit after our streetcar.
That's amazing. So it has the same number.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
And one of the DCA Red Car trolleys also has the same
That's what I was going to say, is because I think one of the ones at DCA has 717.
Yeah, so they have 623, which was 6 months of 1923.
Okay.
And that's all of Buena Vista Street was supposed to be in 1923,
Right,
frozen
right.
in 1923. So that's the number for that one, and the other one was, you know.
So this
one
isn't
here.
just a piece of film history because of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's also a piece of Disney Parks history because they actually use this as the model for the red car trolleys in DCA.
Exactly.
Okay, that is incredible. And do we get to go inside?
Yeah, we get to go inside. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Let's do it.
All right, let's go.
We're climbing up here. That's a much harder climb.
Oh yeah, well, you know, the ground is kind of
Yeah, than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
So this is an actual Pacific Electric
Hollywood car.
red car. How many of these were there
There
total?
were 160 of these total.
Of these ones,
Of
but
this
then they
model,
had
yes.
different models.
Oh yeah, there were a lot of other models.
And what, something like 1,100 miles of track or something
1,100
like that?
miles of track, 2,300 scheduled streetcars a day.
Oh my
Well, they
gosh.
went as far as the Balboa Pavilion.
Wow.
Yeah, they went into the San Fernando Valley.
Oh my
They went
gosh.
out to San Bernardino.
So we really
came
did
into
have
Riverside,
the
yeah.
greatest public
yeah,
transportation
exactly,
system
yeah.
in the world. Look at all these
doubt.
old ads. Are these original
So
ads?
these are replicas of the originals. We have the originals in our archives, but they're not in very good shape.
That is so cool. So how did the museum, first of all, before we do anything else, how did the museum acquire these red cars?
Well, the red car, the museum started off with the yellow cars, the Los
Yeah.
Angeles Railway cars, and then one of the member volunteers, Walter Abenseth, bought these cars.
What is that? Is that the motor?
That's the air compressor.
Oh, that's right. There is no motor.
There's no motor. Well, it has 4 electric motors.
Whoa.
So Walter Abenseth bought these and then donated them to the museum.
Okay.
So he bought them for our collection. So I think he bought 5 of these, and we'll get a chance to look at all of them.
And where had they been before they were here? Were they just out in a
Well,
storage
they
yard?
came. Well, they were. You've probably seen the iconic picture of all the red cars stacked up at the scrapyard. Yeah. Well, this one was saved from that. It didn't make it to San Pedro.
Wow, but it could have been.
It could have
got
been. It could
that
have been,
close.
yeah.
So you're gonna start this thing up, and we're going to drive it.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, look at this little wrench right here.
So this right here is the reverser key. So this is the keys to the car.
Oh, so these are very simple controls.
Yeah. So I'm just going to push this forward.
All right.
I'm going to 2 dings on my bell. This is the brakes.
Ooh.
And then we're going to move forward a little bit.
Boy, I like that noise. It's all powered by electricity from an overhead wire,
From an
right?
overhead wire, yeah, 600 volts DC.
Wow. 600 volts DC. Sounds like that could
same
cook a
power as the
chicken.
monorail. Yeah, it would cook you like a hot dog in about 3 seconds. Yeah.
Same power as the monorail at
Yeah.
Disneyland? Wow.
So the monorail at Disneyland is actually a PCC car.
What's a PCC car?
PCC car, it stands for President's Conference Committee. It was like the standard streetcar from 1937
Oh, okay.
until 1963.
It was based partially on pre-existing public transportation.
Yeah, so
and stuff
all
like
the presidents of the electric railways got together to decide on a standardized streetcar.
Oh, look at this. We're running out of track. What's going on? We've run out of track. Oh my gosh. There's a fella down there. What's he doing? What are you doing down there? That
Well,
rope.
I'm gonna put the pole up on this side to put the pole down on the other side so we can travel in this direction. You want to throw the switch?
Ooh, yeah, sure. What
All right,
do I do? Okay,
let's do it.
We're hopping down. We're pulling the switch.
We'll
All
hop
right,
off
so
the
I've gotten outside of the red car here with Brian Watts. Nice to meet you,
right.
Brian. And what am I doing here? I'm supposed to pull this down.
You're gonna pull
Yes,
over to the
now
right.
go to the right.
All right.
You're aiming for that wire right there above you. So just slowly let it out.
Okay, this
And you're gonna.
is a little harder than I thought it was going to be. Okay. And what is this rod? And why is it touching this wire again?
That's the trolley pole, and that's how the car is powered.
Did I do it?
You got it.
You
Oh
did it.
my gosh, I did it. I just powered a trolley car. I feel so strong. Ah, unlimited power.
You're gonna grab a hold of this,
Okay.
and you're gonna lift it over, and you're gonna put it over in here.
I'm just lifting this
Yep.
track switch. The track switch. Ah! Oh my, this is a lot harder than it looks. Okay, what'd that just do?
Okay, so now that set us up so that we can go out on the track to the left.
Back the way we came. But wait a minute, now
not
the
gonna go-
controls are going to be on the other side.
Well, I have them right here.
Whoa, you took the controls apart.
Yeah, so now we're gonna put them on this side.
So now we're going to set them back up. We'll see how we set up the controls. Let's do it. I'm already getting winded, John, from climbing up and down, and we haven't even really got
we haven't
started
even gotten
yet.
out of the yard yet.
Yeah, that was a lot harder to move that track switch than I thought it was going to be. Okay, so you've got a hand full of gizmos. And by the way, we got Tyler behind the camera. Fake Tyler. How you doing, Fake Tyler?
I'm doing well, thank
He's doing very
The
well.
brake handle.
So the brake handle
Brake handle goes in here.
just slots right in.
This opens the door behind you.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Door handle.
door control.
Ooh,
And
fancy.
then the reverser key.
The little
And then
reverser
our
key.
center doors are closed.
Okay. All right.
And our switch is lined for us, so we're going to go out on the track. We came in on the track to the right.
Right.
And we're going out on the track to the left.
Left. Got it. Right, left.
And then
right.
we're going to go on to the loop.
We're going on to the loop. So the loop is the biggest.
It's a half-mile track that goes around the inside of the museum.
I should mention, by the way, we are in Paris, California, not Paris, Perris.
Yeah, completely different accent.
Yeah, my grandma used to live out here, and she would tell us that she was going to take us to this railroad museum just about every weekend, and
it never happened.
Never happened. But look where I am now, Grandma. Look how high I can
and
fly.
You can come out here anytime you want, and
yes.
we will show you a good time.
Awesome. But what's the best day to come out here if you're
well,
just...
if you want to see trains and trolleys moving, you want to be out here on Saturdays or Sundays.
Saturday or Sunday. Awesome. Okay, here we go. All right, we're going to ring the bell.
Whoa! Bring that to the first notch, and then it starts to move. And then when you're going fast enough, then you just shut it off and you let it coast.
Now, these were all operated, obviously. They weren't automated. This is all old school manpower, just like what you're doing now.
1920s.
So they would just have one guy on this thing operating the whole ship?
Well, there would be a motorman and there would be a conductor. The conductor would be in charge of the passengers and taking money and making sure that everybody pays. And
making sure everybody's legit, nobody's sleeping in here.
Handing out transfers,
Gotcha. Wow, look at this. It feels so powerful. You're so nonchalant. You're hard to read, John. You got a good poker face. I can't tell if you're having fun or you're slightly annoyed.
Every time I touch these things, I'm always having a good time.
Whoa.
So I'm stopping for the crossing. And
oh, I see. I see. We stop for the crossing, and then we're zipping on.
And then this is called a puzzle switch. This crazy looking switch here.
Yeah, look at this track switch up here, Tyler.
In front of the 6th and Main Pacific Electric building in downtown Los Angeles.
Really? So some of the track we're actually riding on is actual Pacific Electric Railroad track. Now, is this narrow gauge, standard gauge?
So this, what we're on right now, is standard gauge, which is 4 feet 8.5 inches.
So these things can run on the train tracks, like with the Amtrak and everything.
Yep, as long as there's an overhead wire.
That's incredible.
We're gonna go through this switch here.
Now, what year did you say this one was built?
1925.
So that means we are 1 year shy of its 100th birthday.
Right,
wow, that is incredible. I'll be lucky if I live that long. I'll be lucky if I live half that long. Whoa. All right, we're coming back to the middle of the streetcar. Now, your name is Bill, right?
Yes.
Justin?
Justin,
nice
good
to
to
meet
meet
you,
you.
Bill. What can you tell us about this thing over here? Because I'm just noticing as we're moving down the track.
This is a Johnson fare box.
A Johnson fare box.
They were the fare box back in the day, and it is, just as you see, to collect fares.
Wow, so this is where you put your coins in the top of this thing,
Yep.
and that's how you paid for the streetcar. How much did it cost?
Oh, I think a nickel, penny, nickel, dimes.
5 cents.
By the end of the streetcar era, probably 35 cents.
Wow, no kidding. So this just automatically separates the money?
Some are capable of counting quarters, others are not.
Wow, and what's this for? What's this little yellow box here?
I think that was for transfers.
Wow, so you can pick up a transfer just like an old bus. I was just thinking right now, my 16-year-old son probably has no idea what a transfer is, but I rode the Octobus many and many a time with my transfer.
I remember those well.
All right, so I'm back up here in the front with John. How often would these things stop on the street? Every block, just like a city bus?
Like a bus stop. I mean, they had designated spots. They had these white painted safety zones in the middle of the streets. We're going to get a chance to see one of those safety zones coming up here.
That's incredible. And how often do you guys actually operate this particular vehicle out here at
I have it scheduled. It probably comes out 4 or 5 times a month.
4 or 5 times a month. Okay, so fairly frequently.
Yeah. So this will be on the main line. Usually I'll have this on the main line, on the main track where we're going to go after we get done going around the loop, and I teach you how to do this.
Oh, you're going to let me drive it?
Oh, yeah, of course. This is all about, you know?
Okay, cool.
So this white painted, this is called the safety zone. So that would have been in the middle of the road, and the regular traffic would have been on, either side of the tracks. Well, the streetcar would drop you off in this safety zone, and you were safe there.
So right in the middle of the street,
with cars whizzing right by you,
in downtown LA,
or anywhere in the system for that matter,
you would just pull up here. So maybe Sunset Boulevard, 6th and Main,
safety
whatever.
Zone, you hop right off because the tracks were in the middle. They weren't off to the side, not like the bus,
And then you open these front doors, or did you open the middle doors?
Well, this would be the exit. You would have gotten in the center.
Okay, so you open up this door.
And then you hop right
Whoa, and then we just step right out in the middle of the street. And I love that. I just noticed how that little step comes out automatically. Like you got minivans and modern SUVs. Like, check this out. Check out this automatic
all
little
new
flap.
for 2024.
Like,
Yeah,
we were doing
folding.
that 99 years ago, and it was all electric 100 years ago.
Yep.
And so all this wire above us is all electrified.
Yeah, it's all electrified, and it's all powered by the El Paso substation that we powered up.
Incredible. So earlier we were over at a little building, the little substation building, and you fired that thing. It's not a generator. What is it in there?
It's a rotary converter, a synchronous rotary converter.
It's a big piece of scary Frankenstein-like machinery. It made a very scary noise. Have you ever been inside of there while it was running?
Yeah, when we're troubleshooting it, yeah.
Does it ever shoot lightning like into your hair?
Well, when you go to shut it off, no, it doesn't make your hair stand up or anything like that. But when you shut it off, you know, when the switches break, you see these great big arcs.
Let's not
just
go.
like
Let's not
Frankenstein's
include
lab,
that on the tour. Okay. So now what are we going to do?
We're not going to go inside that
We're going to
building.
keep going down this
So
loop
we're going
here.
to go around this half-mile loop.
Okay.
So we came out over there.
Somewhere down past that little red caboose. If you can see that little caboose, Tyler, we were down there. So we gone basically around half the
about
loop
halfway
or so.
around, yeah.
And this was the original loop that the museum started with, you were saying.
Yeah, so it took them a while to get a loop going all the way around.
Yeah, and it used to be called Orange Empire Railway Museum.
Right.
Now it's Southern California Railway Museum.
Right.
But you were telling me this got started by a couple of teenagers,
Yes,
right?
teenagers,
in the 50s.
In 1955, the Los Angeles Railway started shutting down.
Those are the big yellow cars.
Big yellow cars. They
Okay.
started shutting down some of their lines.
Okay.
So some of the cars were going to the scrapyard, and these 12 kids that grew up in Los Angeles, they wanted to save some for future use. And what they did is they approached the city and they said they wanted to buy some streetcars.
Teenagers.
Yeah. So the city told them no because we're only going to deal with the corporation.
Right. Okay.
So they got two guys that were 21 years old to start a corporation for them.
And they bought
And then they bought the yellow cars for their scrap value.
And how much were those?
$200.
$200
Yeah, so in
a pop.
today's money, that would be about $1,800.
I'm just trying to think what I was doing when I was 16. Nothing that productive. Nothing
No.
that productive.
So they put their collection at Travel Town, USA, which is the train museum.
Oh,
that's
okay, in
run by the
Griffith
city of
Park.
LA.
Sure.
Griffith Park, yep. And they were.
And then what year did they get this property?
So they finally, after looking at 20 different properties in 1958, they agreed on this spot right here. And
Man,
so
there's not much out in Paris now, so I can't imagine 1958. There was probably nothing around here but farmland as far as the eye could see.
Yeah, they didn't even have to have a fence around the outside.
Old Man Railway.
Yeah.
He owned all of this. This crazy idea about breeding pine trees. Okay, so anyway, we're going to go back on the loop now, and we're going to keep cruising around, and you're going to teach me how to operate this.
Right.
Once we get on the main line, though,
Well,
right?
I'm going to teach you on the loop.
Oh, you're going to teach me right now. All right, well, all aboard. Oh, here we go again. Oh, wait, we forgot Tyler. Oh, no, bye, Tyler. Tyler. Oh, now we're cooking with gas.
Just a little bit. Now we're going about 10 miles an hour.
This is just 10 miles an hour. This feels insanely fast. Watch out, Tyler. Look out below. Wow. This is fun.
It is.
This is way better than like taking the
I mean, where else can you operate historic equipment like this?
Yeah, this is so cool.
Every month I have a class for new people to teach them how to do this.
All right. Here we come.
Here we come.
Back into the depot. Now this right here is the bookshop, right?
Yep.
And normally the entrance, I would guess, to the museum, sort of right over here.
Yep.
But it says Pinacate on the side. That is what this town used to be named before Paris.
This was a town where miners would come and get their supplies.
I cannot imagine anybody mining anything out here except for tumbleweeds.
Yes.
But you said one of the largest gold mines at that time was down here?
The Good Hope Mine, yeah.
The
Just
Hope
down
Mine.
Highway 74 towards the 15.
See, there's a lot to learn out
There's
of
a
this
town
museum.
called Good Hope.
All right, we've switched everything up now, and now comes the hard part where I have to learn to drive.
No, I'm going to teach Justin how to do this.
Now, is it drive or operate?
Operate, drive.
We're going to operate
the streetcar.
the streetcar. Okay, so what do we do?
All right, so I explained earlier, this is the reverser key. This
Right.
is like the keys to the car.
So
if you-
forward.
So we're going to push down on this with the left hand, and then we're going to push that key forward,
Okay.
and then we're going to let out the brakes, and then we're going to turn it this way to the right, until it starts. So it'll go 2 clicks, and then it'll start
So
moving.
we'll pull that this way, 2 clicks,
Two
and then
clicks, and then it'll start moving.
We'll
and
just
then,
start
then
moving.
Then you just kind of hold it right there.
Okay.
And then we're going to get about halfway across the street here, and then you're
we'll
going to turn
stop.
it off, and then we're just going to coast.
Okay, and you're gonna
You want me to stop? And
you're
pick up
gonna
the
keep your
camera,
hand
or-
on the brake this
I'll
first
tell
time,
you,
right?
I've got the brakes.
Okay.
Don't worry. I mean, we're gonna have you do one thing at a time. I'm not gonna throw a whole bunch of stuff at you.
So we're doing this now. So what do we do?
Okay. So all right. Well, now with your left hand, go ahead and push down on that. With your
push
right
down.
hand, reach underneath there, push that forward.
All right.
Okay. I'm gonna close the door behind us because the car won't go with the door open.
Okay, so here goes the automatic door.
Okay.
Woo!
Stomp on that twice.
You want me
On
to
the bell.
On
right
the
here,
bell, all right.
Yep. Okay.
2 clicks.
Now wait. I'm gonna release the brakes.
Okay, that's probably
All
good.
right. Now 2 clicks.
2 clicks.
1.
Whoa!
Okay. Now shut it off.
It's moving. Shut it off. Just
Shut it off.
like that.
Yep, just like that. Yeah.
Do I let
That's
go
it.
now, or do I keep
No,
it down?
Keep it down.
Keeping it down. So we're just coasting.
Yeah, we're just
So
coasting.
we just
yeah.
gave it a little push,
Yep. Mhm.
and now we're just gliding downhill.
That's right.
So now what do we do if we want to stop?
If we want to stop, well, I would bring this to the lap position. Bring it to the lap position.
This
and
bar
I
here.
would put a little bit of air in it.
Now, can anyone come out here and learn to do
Yeah,
this?
anybody who's a member.
So you join museum membership.
Yep.
Should we say what does that cost?
It's like
roughly?
$60 for a family,
Okay, and
and
that's
it's $40
for a
for an
year.
individual for the year. You ride everything for free. You're on our insurance so that you can mess around in any of the barns and take
Probably a handy thing to be on.
take the streetcar class, take the heavy rail class.
And so
take the
you
conductor's
teach a class
So
about
we
the
teach all the
streetcars.
stuff. The streetcars and the heavy rail.
So I'm just learning how to fool around, but
Yeah.
you could actually come out here and get expert level.
Right.
Now what do we do next? We're gonna go
All right,
forward
well, we're
again.
gonna go forward again. Okay,
right.
all right, so go ahead and push that over to the left.
Push this to the left.
All the way over. Yep, slap that all the way over.
Okay.
Okay, and now gravity is just pulling us down, but go ahead and rotate that until it starts to move.
I can leave this here.
Yep, leave that there.
Ah!
You're good. Okay.
Oh,
All right,
Nelly.
now shut it off.
All right, so now I go back up here,
And just keep pushing down.
and we're just coasting.
Yeah, we're just coasting. Yeah.
So you're just kind of leaning
And
on this.
since we're going
thing.
downhill, yeah.
Now, what happens if I, a baby flew in through the window and I needed to catch it with both hands? If I let go of
You would
this,
let go of that, the car would come to a stop.
The car would just come to a
safely
stop.
come to a stop.
but what if you wanted to use both your hands for something else?
Well, you could push down on. Go ahead and stop down on that. Step down
This
on that.
thing?
Yep. And now you can let go of with that hand.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
It's driving itself.
Yep.
Okay, this sounds really scary. But we're just coasting right now,
We're
right?
just coasting right now. Yeah.
Oh
No
my
power.
gosh. It's so noisy and crazy.
Yeah. Well, we should have greased the tracks, but we didn't. When we get out on the main line, it'll be a lot quieter. Okay. Now go ahead and rotate that to that
All right.
first position I
We're
showed
gonna
you.
give it a couple clicks, give it a little more power. More power! I'm giving her all she's got, Captain! I'm giving her all she's got, but she's
All right, now shut it
rattling.
off.
She's rattling to pieces, Captain John! Oh, great Scott. I'm guessing you don't let your students screw around that much.
Yeah, as much as they want.
Oh, okay, okay.
So it'll go a little bit faster since now we're going uphill.
It feels very fast. Look
Yeah.
at this is really easy at
All right,
home.
now shut it off.
Shut it off.
Yep, and we're gonna come to a stop right here at this little platform there.
This is really easy at home to think, yeah, you're moving the streetcar.
All right, put it back to that first position there,
But when you
and now shut it off again.
are here and you feel the weight of how heavy is
Mm-hmm.
this thing, did you say?
About 70, almost 80,000 pounds, 77,800.
That's heavier than everybody's mother-in-law.
Yeah.
When
Combined.
you feel 80,000 pounds move,
Yeah.
you realize this is a serious job. Okay, so do I let go now?
No, now we're going to continue on.
Okay, we're gonna continue on,
Now
Tyler.
we're gonna,
Don't
yeah,
worry.
so we're going to go all the way around and then
Okay, so
and
what do I
then
do? I ding the bell again.
yeah, 2 dings. Yep.
2 dings. What about the whistle? Do we have to
You
blow the
wanna
whistle?
blow the whistle? Go
Sure.
ahead, blow the whistle, yeah.
Okay, so here's the whistle cord. What I just pull down?
Yep, just pull.
Whoa! And now I go.
You're going to release the brakes.
Oh, this way?
Yep.
Okay, we
And now-
release the brakes.
and Now go.
I did it. I released the brakes. Now,
All right, now bring it to the next position. 'cause
you
we're-
gave me a magnet one
Oh,
time.
yep, shut it off. Yeah, just shut it off now.
You gave me a magnet one time last time I was here that says unnecessary conversation with the motorman is prohibited. I stuck it on my car. Cops look very confused every time I get pulled over, which is
Okay,
not
go ahead
that
and put it back
often.
in that first position.
All
Yeah.
right. And now I understand why. Because if you're doing all this,
Second position.
I'd be watching out for cars, right? I'm watching out for people. I'm watching out for cars. If you're running this in the streets of downtown LA, I'm responsible for people's
Right.
lives.
Okay, now shut it off.
Whoa.
Let it coast a little bit. Yep.
And then somebody behind me was like, hey, check this out in the newspaper. Oh, you don't say, the sports section. My eyes aren't on the road.
Right, yeah.
So I totally get it now.
Yeah.
No
All right, put it in that first position.
Oh, this is harder than it looks to keep it smooth.
Yeah. And now shut it off.
When you were doing this,
Now we're going to come up to that
smooth.
stop. Yeah, I've done it thousands of times.
Okay, so we're going up to which spot? This spot here?
See the stop sign? That's that's a mandatory stop. So I'll bring it to the lap position, and then I'll bring it to the
apply a little
and then bring it
brake.
back to the lap.
Whoa, that was just a touch of
Yeah,
brake.
so
it doesn't take
I
much.
used about half of what we have available. See?
And that was just that little.
So no air is being applied.
Man,
Just a little,
and that stopped the whole thing.
Yeah, that stops the whole thing.
That
Just a little flick of your wrist. You've got so much power.
80,000 pounds or whatever.
Right between those two. Okay, take that to that first position.
I know what I'm doing,
And it
John.
starts to move.
Come on,
Yeah,
you don't
there
need
you
to tell me. No, I'm just kidding. Please keep telling me.
All right, go to your second position.
All right. Picking up a little more steam,
Yep,
but there is
little
no
bit faster,
steam.
yep.
It's electric.
And then shut it off, and we're just going to coast.
Wow, if Nikolai Tesla could see us now.
Yeah. And ding your bell because we're coming into the station.
One time?
2 times. Okay.
Oh, someone's coming out.
Now I'm going to slow us
Get
down.
out of the
I'm gonna slow us down a
way!
little bit.
Get out of the runaway rail car! Stand back, sir! Look at him, he looks happy. He knows we're kidding around. Okay.
No, I've just slowed us down because we're headed for a downhill and a curve.
So we're gonna keep coasting down
We're going to keep coasting, then we're going to stop back at the...
Yeah, it's a hard life here, being a motorman. That's what I'm called, right? The motorman?
Yeah, motorman, yeah.
It's a hard life being a motorman, but somebody's got to do the job. Hey, and this is the Bob Gurr seat, right?
Yeah.
They say Bob Gurr used to sit down there, and that's how he got fascinated with streetcars, and they use streetcar parts on the monorail, like you were saying. Well, this is great. This is so easy. I think Tyler could do it. Should we let Tyler have a run?
Fully apply the brakes, and then we're going to put that reverser in the middle.
Reverser in the middle.
Into neutral.
Gosh.
And now you can let go.
Man, those guys must have had tough hands.
Because after your first 2 weekends out here, your wrist and
buff wrist by the end of that. You'll be wrenching in steel mills. Okay, so that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
We did it.
So
we drove the trolley. Sorry, I don't know if I was allowed to do that.
You can do that. Yeah.
But I took a chance anyway. No.
And I'm going to rotate that.
2 clicks.
1. And now we're going downhill. Gravity's going to take over, and we're going to pick up a little bit of speed. Yeah, they used to be able to hook up 5 of these together and remote control all 5 from this one controller here.
That's cool.
And they would just up to 45 miles an hour in less than a block.
That's crazy. So if you have this thing wide open, you could just be flying.
Dude, this is the craziest thing ever. Tyler is up there right now, operating the streetcar. Let me tell you what. Once this thing starts moving, like I was saying, you realize just how heavy it is, just how huge it is, and just how easy it would be to plow into a car, a person, a cow, whatever was on the tracks in the old days. It makes you really think, gosh, these guys knew what they were doing, and I have no idea. But then again, I never do. All right, back up front.
You gotta come up to a
Now,
stop.
shut it off. And we should coast to a stop. We're pretty close to a stop right here.
Right?
Wow! You like that?
I think about how insane it must be to have operated those in LA.
Now, anybody can operate these things. You don't have to be a member. We have the thing called the Run One program.
Okay.
Where people can pay, I think it's $150 for this, and you get it, you get me or Carson for an hour as an instructor, and we put you up on the main line.
Oh, that's so cool.
And you get to go back and forth as many times as you can.
And what's the website?
It's SoCalRailway.org.
Okay, SoCalRailway.org. You heard it here. All right, now we're going to the main line, right?
And now we're gonna switch from the loop to District 1, which is the main line, and it's a mile and a half of track. We're gonna operate on about a mile, little under a mile of that.
Rock and roll.
Yep.
Okay, so we just hopped out of the streetcar, and now we're over here at yet another track switch. This one looks a little bit different.
Yeah.
Does it work the same way?
Well, we're gonna
Look at the lock over here. Tyler, look at this. Look at that. Louie, look at this. Now, is that a lock or a padlock? And what's the
That's a
difference
padlock.
there,
That's a
John?
railroad padlock.
That is a cool old school padlock.
Your microphone here.
Uh-oh, that means I have to do
Yep.
stuff.
So you're gonna pull that straight up.
Oh, this.
Yep. Pull that straight up.
Okay.
And now you're gonna stand over on this side of it and pull it, and then push it down into that slot.
That's what she said. Okay. Okay, so now this is going to connect.
It's going to connect. It's going to go onto the tracks to the left. So as we were going around the loop, we would curve
We
off
would
to
have
the
turned
right.
to the right, but now we're taking this left track, and that's going to lead us out. What is that street called that the museum's on?
That's A Street.
A Street. So
Yep.
we're going to be out on A Street,
Yep.
sort of.
We're going to parallel A Street. Yeah.
Paris, California. We're getting our Paris on. Do you do it Paris style? You're about to. You see this, everybody? You see this, all my friends? That's the main line. We're going to the big time. We're out on the rails, riding the rails.
Yeah, so we got a huge straight stretch of track.
And then
rotate to that first point. It's going to start moving.
I feel like this. We just took a giant leap here.
Yeah.
This is a whole new
right.
era. We just
Second
leveled
point.
up as friends. What's that for?
Every train has to do that at a rail crossing. It's a crossing there.
What is it, two
All right, now go
longs,
ahead.
two
Long,
shorts?
long, short, long. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm in the first position.
Yep.
Is that good?
Yep.
Ooh, there's a lot of track in front of us.
Now the second position.
Okay, second position. Wow.
All right, now go for the third.
The third, here we go. We're going. Oh, great Scott, Captain. I kind of slowed down. Oh, no. Now this is crazy. So how fast would you estimate?
Oh, right now we're going about 10, 12.
That's it?
Yeah. All right, now shut it off.
So fast.
Yeah.
This is so intense. Uh-oh. It's rocking and rolling.
Yeah,
a
rocks.
little bit
It's just
here.
on the suspension. The trucks are rock solid on the tracks.
And you were saying that earlier when I was getting nervous of going
Yeah.
around the bend. You're like,
It's just
You've never had a trolley come off.
It's just rocking back and forth on the
Okay.
springs.
the last time I was here, I was riding on the Thomas the Tank Engine
Yeah.
doing this. And that was
And I was sitting over here at the switch because it was my turn to throw the switch.
Now, what were you saying about sound effects now when they filmed the Roger Rabbit?
The sounds of the wheels clickety clacking on the
yeah.
tracks, the sounds of the brakes coming on and
The
off,
doors opening.
the squeaking, the squeals, all of that stuff. Yeah, the doors, the buzzers.
They recorded
They're
this
this car. Yeah.
to get all the sound effects for Roger Rabbit because that was a bus.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
All right, so go ahead and put it on that first position again.
So now technically that means this car was sort of screen used
Yeah, it was,
for
yeah,
Roger
yeah.
Rabbit
All
because
right.
they recorded all the
And
sound.
the DCA Red Car trolley as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the whistle.
So they just recorded this,
Yeah.
and the DCA
Next
Red
point.
Car is just using this as a sound effect.
Okay,
This
now
is
now,
freaking
now this is
crazy.
our north gate, so now we're off the property.
Okay, so now we're actually getting off.
Okay, so now go ahead, give it the third one.
Oh boy! All right.
Another point.
There's a lot of debris around here near the railroad tracks. I noticed. Like,
All right, give it another point.
you guys have to inspect another point.
Another point, yeah.
Oh,
All right, now go ahead and give it another point.
oh, it's rocking! I didn't know if we had many points left. How many points are
9.
there? And if you were to just slam it all the way open,
Yeah,
how
you
fast
go
would
you go
going?
from 0 to about 45 in about a block.
Wow. Which would have been pretty fast in the 1920s. You were probably really cooking.
Well, they
with
had
that.
cars that were even faster than these.
Really?
Yeah, the ones that they ran out to San Bernardino,
Man.
the 1200 cars, yeah.
And you have some of those cars
Yeah,
too, right?
they would go 55, 65 miles an hour.
This
yeah.
is absolutely crazy.
All right, go ahead and put it back in that first position.
Woo! So you guys must get a lot of Disney people coming out
Yeah.
here, a lot of training.
Well, I bring the Red
enthusiasts.
Car trolley operators out here
Ah.
every quarter, every 3 months. I let them operate the real thing.
Really? So
Yeah.
all the Red
Right,
Car
now shut it
people,
off.
DCA,
Yep.
the cast members,
Yep.
they
Yep.
come out here and get some real hands-on
So I'm in.
training.
I know the leads, and I have the leads bring the
that
regular
is
operators, all
cool.
the other cast members out here, and we have a ball. That's 11th Street there. We're not going to go that far. The crossing's turned off. So go ahead and grab a hold of this.
Yeah, we better not
and
go
then
to
bring it up
11th
to the
Street.
bring it up to the lap where I showed you. Now bring it to the apply. Now bring it back to the lap.
Like that?
Yep.
I stopped
You
it!
stopped it. Yeah.
I actually stopped it.
All right.
And Tyler, even though he came close, did not go through the window.
So now we have to turn the car around. So what we have to do is we have to put this pole up and take that
What
pole
did that
down.
just do? That
It
opened
just
the
opens the door.
That opened
All
the
right,
door.
so hop on out.
I knew that. I knew that. I was asking for your guys' sake. Now, can both of them be on at the
Yes.
same time?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not
pull
gonna
down.
blow
Pull
up.
down a little bit.
I'm not gonna blow up Paris.
Oh.
Man, this is crazy because we've only come about a mile from the museum. But in that thing, it feels like we've come like 1,000 miles out here. It feels so remote, like we're out in the wilderness, alone. This is one crazy experience. I highly recommend it if you're a fan of the Red Car, transportation, Henry Huntington, Los Angeles history, trains, streetcars. You got it right here, the Southern California Railway Museum. Come check it out. All right, we gotta go back in and go the other way. This is incredible. Okay, so anyone can sign up to do this.
Right.
And you can teach them, give them a 1 hour kind of
Well, it's like, well, yeah, for the run one, yeah.
But you also have a class.
I have a class. It's like all day.
So there are multiple levels. So
Right.
anyone can just call the museum, go to the website, and get a hold of you guys and
Right.
work it out.
Yep.
That's
Call the bookstore.
And you also have a YouTube channel.
Right.
Now, what's that
It's called John's Tales from the Rails.
John's Tales from the Rails. So if you're into getting tails and you're into getting rails, head on over to John, because he's got your back. And I love how when I turned around and wasn't looking at the road, he was. Thanks, John.
Of course. I got you, Justin.
This isn't illegal, is it? Okay, whew, because I don't think I renewed my Motorman license. All right, so we're just cruising into a stop. All right, here it goes. John is pulling old 717 or 717, however you prefer it, back into car barn number 2. Listen to that thing glide along the tracks, and it's going in. Say goodbye to our friend, the Hollywood car, named because they had many of these that actually ran in Hollywood, or many just like it. But to us, this is the Hollywood car because of its connection not only to Disney's California Adventure and their sort of Buena Vista Street area and all that kind of, and their Hollywood area, but also because of Who Framed Roger Rabbit that used sound effects, sound recordings from that very car that we just operated. All right, there's one last thing I want to see, because if you notice looking at 717 over here all day, the paint job's also a little bit different than the old Roger Rabbit paint job. It had a similar paint job to that, but they actually restored it back to its 1920s appearance when it got here to the museum, just to make it a little bit more accurate to its earliest times. But from what I understand from John, there is actually another Pacific Electric rail car somewhere at the museum that has the butterfly paint job, right?
Right, yeah.
So can we go see that real quick? All right, and here it is in a different car barn. Lo and behold, another Hollywood car, number 655. Now this one, ironically enough, was once on rubber tires. A guy had it and turned it into a parade float, but they didn't have it here in time for Roger Rabbit. But this has that sort of butterfly paint job on it, like the one in Roger Rabbit. And by the way, you can see these Hollywood cars are a lot smaller than the big red cars that they used to have. But check this out. Here's an even stronger DCA connection, because up here on 655, John, what were you saying? The inside of this.
It's just like the 717 at DCA.
So they designed it to look like this. And now what kind of years are we talking about
So
here?
this one was 1923. So there were 160 of these made between 1923 and 1925.
But this looks sort of set up to be more like the 50s, right? Like
so this would have been the 1939.
oh, that's right. So that's why it has the butterfly.
Right.
Is that what it's called? Butterfly paint
Butterfly
job?
ones, yep. Mhm.
And that is from the late 30s. So that's the Roger Rabbit era. Wow. And so this is where DCA got their paint scheme from.
And then the other one, then the 623, the inside is just like the 717 that we just operated.
Man, this is crazy. So how many of these streetcars are out here? How many different streetcars in total?
Well, we have this one, we have the 717, and then we have 3 more in the back.
And those are just red cars. So how about...
Well, they're all Hollywood. All 3
that's
Hollywood
just the
cars.
Hollywood cars.
And we've got red cars all over us. We got them all over the place.
And then when you add in the yellow cars, what do you got? Like 100 cars out here?
Well, we
or
have
what?
250 pieces of equipment.
Okay, that's a lot of pieces of
So, I
equipment.
mean, a lot of those are passenger cars. Some of them are tanker cars, gondola cars,
Man.
Cranes. Yeah.
And hand pump cars.
And pump cars, which are a lot of fun.
Which, we might need to go see next. All right, John. Well, that was it for 717. There's a lot more to see.
Oh, there's
here.
a whole lot more stuff.
A lot more Disney Connection stuff.
Yep.
A
Oh,
lot
absolutely.
more just streetcar
Knott's
stuff.
Berry Farm stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Teasing me with the Knott's Berry Farm
We got
stuff.
Knott's Berry Farm
Okay,
stuff.
so one more time, what's the museum's contact information if people want to come out here? It's the Southern California Railway Museum.
Southern California Railway Museum, or SoCalRailway.org.
And then what's your YouTube information?
And it's John's Tales from the Rails.
John's Tales from the Rails.
On Facebook and on YouTube.
Okay, awesome.
And if you want to do one of the run ones, or you want to become part of the class, one of my classes,
Oh, yeah.
call the bookstore, the Southern California Railway Museum.
Okay, so call
And
them
we
in.
are located at 2201 South A Street, Paris, California.
Paris, California. P-E-R-R-I-S.
Yes, different accent.
Yeah,
yes.
different accent. Not Paris, California. That's serious. All right, and now John
And
and
now
I,
we're going to ride off into the sunset.
we're going to ride off into the sunset. We don't need this anymore. Tyler, take it easy. Take care of yourself. Everybody out there, be good.
Yeah,
We're
go
going.
ahead.
Off we go.
We have a green light. Yep, we're good.
I've always wanted to do this, or so I thought.
Push down.
Okay, I'm pushing. I'm not very strong, John. I'm not very strong.
Well, once we get it going, it'll take care of itself.
How many miles are we doing this for?
3.
Okay, 3 miles, no problem. I used to do this for days when I was a kid. Back when I used to ride the rails, John. Just me and old man McGillicuddy. He was a good man, old man McGillicuddy. Had a large Bowie knife, a very large wife. Oh, as tall as the mountain. That these are actually park used from the park from where they came at Disneyland. I don't know what that means. You know I don't speak Spanish, but I'm guessing you're ready, right? Well, welcome everybody to the Southern California Railway Museum. Behind me is the museum itself on many fine acres of land where they once grew crazy and stuff for the transportation. And we came back. So we found out there's no gluten-free food on the rails.
There's probably something left over for us in there.
But there's some in here, so
There's gluten-free cake for sure.
we decided to quit the wandering life and settle down and start a family.
We would need some help.
You've done your duty. Go home. Sleep well.